Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jeunesse Live. I'm your host, Keziah J. It is Saturday, June 3rd, 2017. I have a very special show for you today. We are talking all about the science behind our incredible products. Joining me, we have our scientific advisor, Dr. Vincent Giampapa. Hi, Dr. Giampapa.
Hey, Keziah, how you doing today? It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm doing really well. It's so wonderful to see you, and thank you for spending time out of your weekend to join us. I know we've had a good conversation this week. It's been nice to kind of catch up with you, and I'd love for you to share with our audience a little bit about what happened this week in your life.
Sure. No, we've always been focusing on the latest cutting edge research, and today, actually this week, I was able to actually become part of Harvard's research team at the Glenn Center for Cellular Aging, and I will be actively involved look advances cellular aging and how we can continue to improve not only how we age, but look at that information as a source of new source of information for products that we'll develop in the near future.
Absolutely, and you've been a part of Jeunesse from the very get-go. You also have, helped us formulate these amazing products, our AM/PM. We're going to be talking about that today. I just took my AM, so I'm already feeling pretty good about that. What do you want to share with our audience today?
Well, I'd like to talk about the unique science behind AM/PM, and also the new AM/PM powdered version drink, which kind of adds another dimension to the impact of that product for a specific type of people who need and want the best that they can get.
Perfect. Okay, so if you guys are watching and you have questions, make sure you leave them in the comments. Leave them in the questions below. We'll be reviewing those throughout the show to ask Dr. Giampapa as we go through the presentation. So let's go ahead and get started.
Okay.
All right, slides are up. Yes, the beginning of a new era in cellular aging. So obviously that's your expertise, and
yes.
I'm very excited to hear how that coincides with what we're doing here at Jeunesse.
It will. Now, I'm looking for the first slide. I don't see that yet, but I'm sure it'll be momentarily. And, oh, yeah. Okay, so we take a look at what's happening globally. One of the things that I focus on is the global aging tsunami. Okay, and it's a phrase that I've been using for the last few years, but what we don't realize is the global aging population is growing so logarithmically that there's no way we're going to be able to really treat people with the present model of medicine. So what we've been focusing on is what can we get to the masses of people to help them stay healthier longer so that they can contribute to society, enjoy their lives, and even cut healthcare costs in the future. Now, this impacts Jeunesse tremendously because the more older people they are, the more needs for the products that Jeunesse is actually able to present to them. So what I'm saying to all of the family members of Jeunesse is your market is going to grow year by year, day by day, so there'll be constant needs for what we at Jeunesse are producing. We're going to talk a little bit about this new version of AM/PM, which is the powdered drink format, and right now it's just in very limited marketplaces, but the company and myself, we're all looking and making major efforts to bring this product to as many markets as possible, and it will also enhance every one of your abilities to touch everyone and make their lives better. Next. So the latest science in cellular aging has to do with looking at specific new areas inside the cell that we now know much more about, and we also know how we can impact those things. And I think what we're going to see in the next 6 months is a whole new, more effective way to help improve the basic unit of health, which is the cell. So our YES system has been designed uniquely, and no other MLM company really understands the fact that as products are developed, they're not just supposed to be products that specifically handle a symptom, for instance, a product for bone or joint pain, a product for memory. The secret about Jeunesse's youth enhancement system is that the products are designed to work synergistically together so that as you're taking more numbers of the products, you're actually experiencing and impacting the cellular aging process at a more effective and more kind of magnitude, a greater magnitude. So this is a key component that separates Jeunesse from the other MLM products and companies as well.
I love this chart. I think we're missing something. We're missing envy here, but you're so right.
Yes.
I mean, our youth enhancement system, we talk about from the outside in and the inside out. So it's so important. All of our products work together synergistically. Our products are amazing. You definitely can feel the results from taking them. And then also what we apply to our skin. We're going to talk a little bit about Luminous. We're also talking about envy. I know many of you who are watching know that I'm going on a tour. We've already launched in the United States. We have it in Canada. We just visited Europe and had a very successful launch with envy. We're bringing envy to Hong Kong just in about a week. So lots of stuff happening too. And it is important, like not only what we put in our bodies, but also what we put in our skin.
Yeah, and I think that's a very important comment you just made. Not only do the products work synergistically within the body, but the whole concept of inside out and outside in, the synergy of the Luminous product line, the things that work on our skin with the things we take inside our bodies, that's another level of science that again makes Jeunesse unique.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Next slide.
All right, we'll move on. Yes. So, I mean, one of the most important things is to keep in mind that the basic unit of our health and our bodies is a cell. You know, we have hundreds of trillions of cells in our body. And again, the focus of AMPM has been to put together all the latest science that helps each component of the cell, each compartment of the cell work better. And in my books, and we'll show those at the end of this talk, in each one of the 6 books I have, we talk about the secret of learning how to keep one cell healthy, because once you do that, you can do that for 100, 1,000, or a trillion cells. And the secret here is to focus the science on how to keep your cells healthy and more functional. And that's really what AMPM does. And to me, it's the core base of the pyramid product that helps all the other products work even more efficiently. Okay, so when we take a look at each one of those cells in our body, again, we talk about 10 feet of DNA inside each cell. We have hundreds of trillions of cells. And each one of those cells, in those cells have about 30,000 genes. And again, the latest science in cellular aging now is focusing on how do we keep the right group of genes active and the incorrect or the aging genes inactive. And that science is called epigenetics. So we're going to look a little bit more about that in a second too. Okay, next. Okay, so I'm just having difficulty seeing that slide. I don't know, it's kind of like cut in half or something. Could we bring that? Could I get a full version view of that?
I see wellness, anti-aging, and age reversal.
Oh, okay, here we go, because that was all cut up. Okay, so that's a really important concept I wanted to talk about. So wellness is where our cells inside our body are aging appropriately for our age. So if you're 40, we know the average person should still have good health, feel great, look great. When you hit 50, 60, different genes change. But again, if you're aging optimally for your age or average for your age, you're well. Anti-aging has to do with being able to age even slower than somebody who is your, quotes, biological age. So what we're looking at doing with Jeunesse is using the latest science to help those cells stay more functional and age slower than someone would be aging if they weren't taking these keys based on the new cellular science. And lastly, so here's the most exciting thing that's going on. Age reversal has to do with how we impact our stem cells. Right now in my clinic and in clinics that we're putting up outside the US and Costa Rica, we're looking at already being able to collect your stem cells, actually make them work better, give them back to you so the body's regenerative potential will be dramatically better and will be even able to reverse some of the changes of aging. And those things aren't science fiction. They're actually science fact, and they're being done in universities throughout the country. My hopes is to bring that next step of therapy to Jeunesse into sometime in the near future.
Yeah, it's so fascinating when I see all of these things. Just knowing what the future holds, it seems like we're just like quantum leaping in terms of the technology and the research that's happening and what the future really holds for the aging process. And we're so lucky to have you a part of our company and be able to help spearhead these initiatives. So I love hearing you talk more about this. It's also fascinating to me. I think many times we just want to look at a bottle and say, okay, what is this going to do for me? And what results am I going to have? Am I going to feel something? But there's so much more to it. Our bodies are doing stuff every day that we're not even aware of. It just functions so incredibly optimally when you take good care of yourself. So let's talk a little bit about our stems, or I'm sorry, our cells, which is your next slide you have here.
So when we have to keep in mind that when we're taking AM/PM or taking Luminesce, but particularly the oral products, what we're really doing is working with two categories of cells: our stem cells and our body cells. So the secret here with AM/PM is not only to keep our functioning body cells, the cells that you see, your skin, your hair, your nails, but the stem cells, which are your reservoir of regenerative potential. Those are the cells that actually replace your body cells and help keep your organs functioning optimally. So AM/PM has also been designed not just to help what you see and feel, but that regenerative potential, that group of stem cells that to me is so important to maintain your health, your beauty, and your function. So that's another key component we need to keep in mind with the research we're doing is we're focusing on both of these groups of cells. And if you take a look at this chart, on the left, you'll see what looks like a group of cells, and then they move across to the right. So as our cells suffer damage to their genetics, their DNA, they get functional, less and less functional. Mm-hmm. But more importantly, those first two categories, the light green and darker green, are where the cells have stopped dividing and providing the function they might need to function for your liver, your heart. And if they continue to get damaged, they get into a state called senescence, where they're not copying anything or making positive contributions to your health, but they're actually starting to produce bad compounds that can literally cause your healthy cells to age quicker. And if they're not really removed by the body, and you see that light blue categories, the body does have a capacity to remove damaged cells. If the damage is so great, they turn into cancer. So this is a continuum. Now, the big secret here is those first two categories where the cells are starting to get damaged, that light green and darker green. If the cells receive the right nutrients, the right phytochemicals, the right compounds to activate certain genes, they can actually become functional again and not turn into senescent or bad cells that cause you to age. So this is all new information in the last year and a half or two that has really made us realize we can make an impact in how we age. So what we're looking at here in these little silhouettes is kind of an interesting picture. We age from a childhood to adulthood. In the middle, this nice straight postured young lady, that's called positive aging or developmental aging. The genes change, so we age to become an optimal adult. Now, from that point on is where we start to experience negative aging. And that really has to do with damage to our DNA, damage to our stem cell pools, and the accumulation of what we call these damaged or aged senescent cells, which some of Genesis products, I'm going to explain how they impact those cells as well. Okay. Next slide. Okay, so this is just another picture to show you in that center light green area is where we have the optimal health, our optimal function, and where the number of our stem cells and the function and quality of stem cells are working optimally. As we age and we get more damaged cells, we age quicker. So the secret is to kind of delay those damaged cells and maybe even remove them. And again, that's another area of science we're working on too. So there'll be new products focusing on many of these things in the forthcoming future. And again, this is just to show that when those cells get damaged, you'll see they start to release what these little puffs or clouds of negative compounds. And we now know, for instance, that if we can remove those negative compounds, so we've done that in mice, for instance, when we remove these senescent or negative cells, the mice not only stop aging, they live longer, they live healthier. So this has become a very, very important target for future aging. That is the removal or to slow the progression of these senescent cells, and super exciting things are on the forefront in the very near future.
What an interesting visual there.
Yeah, right. So here, again, the key, I guess if we had to pick one thing that really could impact how you age and feel right now, and that's damage to your DNA. And the ingredients in AM/PM, Reserve, Finity, and a number of our other products, both topical and oral, really help our body cells to repair the damage to our DNA. Every hour, we have about 500,000 damage points to each one of our cells, but our body is able to repair those things immediately when we're young. And as we get older, that repair mechanism dramatically drops off in efficiency. So our goal is to focus on that. And why do we do that? Is because the latest research that we looked at in centenarians, that is people who live to be over 100, out of all the things we found, what is one of those things that making those people live not only older, but they're still functioning, is they have inherited an ability to repair their DNA 3 to 4 to 5 times greater than someone even in their 30s. Now that is a real big tip-off from Mother Nature about where we need to focus. And again, I think there'll be new products in the very near future that are going to even add more impact to what we have right now in the Geness family of products in the Yes system. Okay, next. We'll go to the next one, please. Okay, so can you just read the title on that? It's so tiny.
Sure. Yeah, no. Actually, if you click on the little box.
Oh, yeah, you can read the next one.
It will bring it up for you. Yeah, so this one just says PARP, the DNA repair and longevity.
Oh, yeah, I see it. Okay, so I put that slide in here only to mention one other thing. The research we looked at in centenarians was just blew us away. But then when we looked at what happens if we look at mammals from as little as mice to rabbits to going up to gorillas to horses and to humans, we see as animals live longer in each one of those groups, their ability to repair their DNA gets better and better till we reach humans. That was the second flag that told us really repairing DNA damage, repairing the damage to our genetic software is where we really need to focus in the immediate future. So AMPM, I'm going to just click on this for a minute too. So AMPM, for instance, has been designed to work on all those cellular components, including helping the body to repair its damage to its DNA. And we can go to the next slide. Okay, so how does this work? So when we ingest a tablet of AMPM or a drink of AMPM, that product is loaded not just with vitamins and minerals, but key extracts of plants, herbs, spices that have been shown to directly get inside the cell. And when that happens, the cellular machinery works dramatically better. It's like having super gas instead of regular gas. But not only does the cell machinery work better, the ability to remove the waste products the cell produces is enhanced as well. So that's a key thing to keep in mind is cellular detoxification is enhanced with AMPM as well. Next slide. So we talked a little bit in the beginning about epigenetics, and what that means is the ability to slow certain genes down and activate other genes that are healthy. And so that has been one of the probably most recent advances in cellular aging is this concept of epigenetics and natural compounds that actually have been documented to do this with specifically targeted genes. We'll take a look at the next slide. So if you can hit that button there, Chris, and I want to show you, if we were to look at inside the nucleus of your cell, you'll see these little red compounds going into the DNA, the actual double helix. And for instance, that might be resveratrol. And as resveratrol goes into the helix of DNA, it lands on specific areas of the DNA, activates certain compounds that cause the DNA spiral to open up and allow the genes to be activated. And other compounds will actually close certain portions of the DNA to turn off certain genes. And this is really a picture of epigenetics. And when we have the right mixture of compounds, we can actually turn on or off to a certain degree the genes that are involved in aging, the genes that are involved in keeping you healthy. And this is really the core of what we're talking about. So now when we look at a tablet of AMPM, there's 90 plus ingredients in a tablet, and just a small component of that are vitamins and minerals. And we've selected, based on the recent literature, the right compounds to help switch these help turn these genetic switches up and down based upon what we've recently learned in cellular aging. And if you look at the capsule on the right, what it really is a condensation of these natural products really compacted and put into a tablet that has a number of unique characteristics. Number one, as we compress these ingredients, we make sure that the compression process doesn't ruin the proteins or the formation or the structure of those compounds. Number two, the actual outline, the coating of these tablets have been designed to open up in the right portion of your intestines. We don't want this to open up in your stomach because then most of those proteins would be denatured by your acid. So the coating of the tablets is the manufacturing and the science behind AM, PM isn't just ingredients, it's how that whole tablet works. Okay, so how would you know what to take? Because everybody sees on the internet, well, you need this, you need vitamin D, you need coenzyme Q10. It's impossible for you to know. So we have taken the guesswork away from you. And the body needs certain compounds in the morning more than it needs certain compounds in the evening. And so and that has to do with the kind of the fourth thing that AM, PM makes it unique, and that is its ability to restore our body's biological clock. So we'll go to the next one. Next slide, please. Yeah, so the body's biological clock is set in the morning for energy and to burn energy and to give you the energy and actually balance key hormones that you need during the day. And originally it was designed to help us optimize the fight or flight response. That was when we were more primitive. We'd have to be alert in the morning to make sure we weren't eaten by a dinosaur or a lion or a tiger. Okay, so that biological clock got us ready and primed for the day. In the evening, our cells are primed for sleep, which is when most of our cellular repair occurs. And up until about your 40s, early 50s, that biological clock is pretty good. And the reason why most of us don't sleep well as we get older is that biological clock switches. Instead of being awake in the morning, you're kind of drowsy. And instead of going to sleep quickly at night, you find yourself ruminating and not being able to fall asleep. So the correct ingredients of natural compounds really helps restore that biological clock, what we call that bioclock or circadian clock. And that is another positive thing that really helps with cell repair and get your cells back into optimal shape the longer you take AM, PM, Reserve, Affinity, and the other products. Next slide. So you have a choice. I mean, you could try to swallow these tablets on the left here, 92 different things, which I doubt any of us could even get down, or you can take advantage of the science of these two little tablets that have all the value and science that this whole plate of stuff has, but much more and much more focused. And to me, the secret is that each one of those tablets is really a mini, almost like a nano machine, an anti-aging machine that helps your cells work more efficiently. So now we're introducing AM, PM powder. So why did we move to a powder drink? You know, over the years, some of the people who've been enjoying AM, PM have at times difficulty swallowing the tablets, and that if they're smaller people or they have problems swallowing, that was one of the reasons. We also looked at the latest science on absorption. You know, after we hit about 60, 65, our intestine's ability to absorb larger particles decreases. So we created AM, PM powder in a powdered format and drink, which allows people who have even digestive problems or inflammatory bowel disease or even older people to absorb these ingredients more efficiently and quicker. When we use AM, PM powder, the powder formula, the drink, we're not taking as many tablets. If someone's using, and they should be using, all of the products together for the optimal synergistic effect, it reduces the number of things you have to swallow. In fact, one of the key things that we all don't do is drink enough water. So at least taking AM, PM in the morning and evening is going to force us to drink a little more liquids and fluid, which helps with the cellular detoxification process, keeps us hydrated, and in general makes a big, big difference all the way around. And if you take a look at, again, the most important thing we're looking at is balancing the body's biological rhythms and its clock, is AM, PM powder seems to, the feedback we're getting from the first couple markets it is in, it helps to restore your sleep quicker, and it helps to give you that jump of energy quicker too. And that has to do with the fact that, and for many people, they absorb it a little more efficiently. So the products really aren't replacing each other. What they're doing is really allowing a different group of users to choose what they feel is a little more efficient for their personal needs. So again, we're trying to make a very, very effective, one of our most effective products, give you more options to experience that based upon your personal, preferences. Next. So the benefits you can feel. I mean, to me, one of the most important things if you're taking a supplement is that you can see and feel the difference. If you're putting on a serum or a cream, you see your skin looks better, it feels better, you're getting compliments. Okay, so AMPM works, actually makes the skin look better. AMPM makes your energy better, restores your circadian rhythm, and your skin, hair, and nails grow dramatically quicker. Your immune system, based on studies we've done, questionnaires and subjective questionnaires, people say they definitely notice a difference in staying healthier more optimally. And we also have noticed a difference in people losing body fat but maintaining more muscle. And when you combine AMPM with Zen, I've seen just dramatic enhancement in both of those products. So we go to the next one. The study that we did a number of years ago actually showed something very interesting. For the first 8 weeks, people notice a big difference in their energy. This is in the light green here. The light green bars, you'll see their energy improved, their sleep improved, their focus improved. And that's more than 50% of people. And that's what's happening during that period is these nutrients and phytocompounds are getting into the cell, making that cellular machinery work more efficiently. But at 12 weeks, we've noticed the impact is even greater. So when people take this product and stick with it for at least 3 months, that's when they're going to experience the optimal benefits from this. And so I would recommend if you're going to take this product, you get a 12-week supply from the start, and just make sure you have it and take it on a regular basis so that you really can experience the full impact of what AMPM does, not to how you feel, but also how it works synergistically with the topical products from Jeunesse as well. Next slide. Okay, so in summary, what are we really looking at? AMPM is really the next generation of, if you will, anti-aging supplements. Some people have used a new term called geroprotectors, or protectors from growing old. And it's really about focusing on those key areas inside your cell, your DNA, and other things to help keep each one of your cells working more optimally and healthier. Take the next slide. So this is an important thing to keep in mind. And one of the things we're looking at in Jeunesse is we want to be, and we are the leader in the science-based products for cellular aging and anti-aging. But your lifestyle, your choices you make, the environment you live in together really make the final impact on how you're going to feel, look, and age. So we know right now that 70% of your future health has to do with A, what you know, the knowledge you're given, B, what products you take, and the majority of your future health is based on your choices, your lifestyle. Do you exercise? Do you eat right? Do you reduce your stress? So we're looking at how we can bring those other components to you in the near future as well. So you're in charge. If anybody says, well, my father had high blood pressure, I'm going to have it, that's not really true. It's really up to you to be proactive. Next. And this little slide is just showing you that, yes, you have genes, and yes, you have your environment, but you are not held prisoner by your genes. It's your environment, the information you have, and your focus on staying healthy that really dictate your future health. Next. And so again, to summarize, Jeunesse's YES system, again, has been designed to work synergistically, a unique concept when we look at other MLMs, and not just synergistically, but work from the inside, the base unit of health, which is your cell, to the outside, and from the outside in. So we have, if you will, a 3D approach to aging. And our secret here, when you look at this picture, is we're all going to age, okay? But the secret is to age as slowly as possible and as efficiently as possible. And our goal is not to worry about how old we are biologically, I mean chronologically, but how old our cells are biologically. And our whole focus is to make this process as slow and as efficient as possible to enhance the quality of your life and those around you. So AMPM powder sticks will add another option to people who have personal preferences or specific situations that AMPM tablets might be more difficult to use, but in general, they're both the same function, same products, and the same focus on keeping your cells as healthy as possible, both your stem cells and your body cells. Last slide, I think. Next one, yeah. So if you have questions about, gee, I want to know more about this, these are just some of the books that are available on Amazon, and they will give you even more detail about the basic science that we use in Jeunesse, what I've been using for the last 25 years for my elite patients, myself as well. And my goal here is to continue to bring to both you and Jeunesse the latest science in cellular aging, the latest information on your environment and lifestyle, and the latest information on stem cells and how they will impact both you and your future health and your family's future health.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for all the information that you shared with us. I know it's so fascinating to me because I think as a society, we're fascinated with educating ourselves. We have a greater awareness of taking care of our bodies. I know for me, especially being reverent to my body on the inside and out, like, of course, we want to look youthful and look amazing, but we want to feel really good too. And I like that we're responsible for our destinies. You know, it is up to us to eat the right foods and to follow a healthy, active lifestyle, I think is super important. But it is incredible with the products that we have here at Jeunesse, and with, you know, what you contribute to our company, and just your research and your expertise is really just incredibly amazing. So lots of fantastic feedback on the show today, for sure.
Well, thank you. And if there's any questions that come up in the future, that please let me know. I'll do my best to respond to them and get back to whoever has questions about any of these issues.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for sharing everything you did on the PowerPoint. If you guys have questions, make sure you leave them in the comment section. We'll make sure Dr. Giampapa sees what your most pressing questions are, and we'll make sure that you get those questions answered. Also, just to let you guys know, Dr. Giampapa will be at several upcoming events. So do you want to share with the audience where they'll be able to see you this summer?
Sure. No, I'm really looking forward to Singapore, my visit to Singapore, Tokyo, Hong Kong as well in August, and New Jersey here actually in June. In just a few weeks, I think we're going to see you there as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll be there at our university event in New Jersey. So make sure you check JeunесseGlobal.com. Look at those upcoming events. Again, we'll be in Singapore in August. Lots of great tours coming up. And check availability for the powder, because it is obviously based on region. We'll be expanding that a little bit further in the near future. So in the meantime, want to encourage you to pick up your AM and PM. I took mine this morning, so I love this. I know there are some questions that are coming in. If you have just a minute, you want to answer. People are asking if there's melatonin in the PMs, and if that is how that affects sleep.
Okay, so melatonin, there is a very small amount of melatonin in the US formulas and in a number of the formulas. Now, melatonin, just so everybody understands this, is not really there to help make you sleep. It is there as a protectant to keep DNA from being damaged. And melatonin actually is a neurohormone produced in the brain, and it's the only hormone in the human body that actually has receptor sites on your DNA. And nature has designed that because melatonin actually helps limit the damage caused by free radicals. Although most of us think of it as a, quote, sleep compound, the amount that's in PM really doesn't aid dramatically to sleep. Some people, it might help them sleep. But the other things that really are important in the PM formula are the combination of amino acids that we have that really help induce sleep, and some of the other compounds. So I hope that answers the question with melatonin. It's such a small amount. If you take, for instance, 2, 3, 4 PMs for some reason, and some people do take them when they're traveling for jet lag, more than 2, it's not going to impact you negatively in any way.
So I'm flying to Hong Kong, so I'll have to make sure I take my...
Oh, you take a few extra ones.
I'll take a few extra PMs for sure. Okay, the next question. I mean, obviously we know that our company is known for creating incredible products. And oftentimes when we think about age reversal or anti-aging, we think of people who suddenly become very conscious of the aging process. But people are asking, what about young people? Can younger adults benefit from our youth enhancement system?
Well, you know, that's a great question, because I get that question all the time. My children started to take the earlier version of AM, PM when they were in their late teens, early 20s, particularly kids and children in college who don't eat right, don't get enough sleep. My recommendations are to start this AM, PM product when people are in their mid and early 20s, particularly in college. And being proactive, limiting the damage to your DNA, helping your cells work more efficiently, not only helps them with their workload in college, but it actually is the first step in slowing the aging process and enhancing your cell function before there's too much damage. So I would strongly recommend that the market that people focus on are these younger people as a way to keep them healthier longer and functioning better.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think that's fantastic advice. And especially at that age when you are under so much stress, I think that can be super helpful. Another question that's coming in, we talk a lot about taking care of our bodies from the inside out. Of course, many people are concerned with their overall appearance and aesthetics. We do have Zen Project 8, which has been extremely successful. So we're talking about just weight management and taking the right supplements. Do you have any advice for how people could achieve their goals with Zen Project 8? I mean, obviously you're masterful when it comes to the body and youth enhancement. What advice could you give people, just if you told them 3 things they could do every day, just to kind of get more into health and fitness?
I have a small CD that I'm going to make available for free, anybody who wants one. And it goes over some of the key things you just talked about. I think if you had to pick the 3 key things, one of them is exercise at least 15 or 20 minutes a day. And that is simple as walking or on a treadmill. Okay, that not only sets your calorie burn rate up higher for the day and really helps lose body fat and make more muscle, enhance muscle mass. The second thing to do is your diet, is to really watch the quantity of food. And I talk about the palm computer. Okay, so you have a computer with you, it's called your palms. The secret is the right balance, the right amount of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. So, I mean, 2/3 of that should be protein. 1/2 of the 1/3 should be carbohydrates, which are low glycemic carbohydrates. You can just pick anything that's not white. And the other half of that 1/3 should be fats. And there's the right type of fats to choose, which I won't get into. But when you're sitting in a restaurant or you're eating, you should always eat your protein first, okay, and then your carbs, because it sets the body's burning rate up. And there's exercise, there's eating the right quantity and quality of food. And the third thing, believe it or not, is stress. And God knows in the 21st century, we're all much more stressed than we were genetically designed for. And just taking 5 or 10 minutes a day when you start your day to kind of slow your mind down, focus on positive things. And there's the breathing techniques are probably the easiest thing to do. Just focus on breathing in and out and trying to calm your mind, even if it's for 2 or 3 minutes, really makes profound changes in cortisol and other stress hormones that can really make a difference. Now, when you put those 3 together with the Zen program, you lose body fat dramatically better than if you're not watching what you're eating and you're not exercising and you're full of stress. So those are the 3 things I would make strong recommendations for. And again, I have thousands of these CDs I'd be happy to give out to people who are interested.
Amazing. So we'll make sure we follow up on that and get those available to our audience today. Yep, absolutely. Sure. Fantastic advice for sure. There's 2 more questions if you have the time. Okay. So the first question is, how is Luminesce different from other skincare products? Are you able just to speak very quickly? Obviously you understand the stem cell technology. Just briefly, what would you be able to tell people differentiates our skincare line?
So, one of the things that fascinated me from the very beginning with Luminesce was the concept of really focusing on the benefit of stem cells and the products that stem cells produce. So the Luminesce line has not stem cells in it, but the products that our stem cells produce, the proteins, the pieces of DNA, RNA. And those special components, when applied to the skin with the delivery system that Luminesce has designed, actually awaken up. They work via this epigenetic mechanism where they can actually turn certain genes on and off that cause your skin to make more collagen, or that inhibit the enzymes that break down collagen and elastin. So what happens is, it's not just the compounds themselves, but what those compounds do to the cells that are inside your skin, so they act more youthful and make more collagen and elastin. Hyaluronic acid, which holds more moisture. So each one of the Luminesce product lines has that essential ingredient in, or mixtures of ingredients in it that make it unique again. So it's really, again, the focus on stem cells, the products, and how they interact within the cells of your skin, and not just puff up the skin or make it look better, but actually enhance how that skin develops and forms.
Yeah. And again, everything we have, which is why our company is so amazing. And I know even for our founders and the ownership of our company, all of our products are very carefully considered. And if they're not really proven by science, and if they're not really going to make a difference, they just won't launch them. And so it's so incredible to see Our skincare line is so amazing. AMPM is so incredible. All of our products really just deserve the spotlight. And even with Envy, I mean, makeup that actually has these ingredients in it that can help be good for your skin. So it's just absolutely incredible what we've accomplished here at Jeunesse, and we continue to innovate. I mean, just like you talked about, there's so many things to look forward to. Anti-aging in general, just the science that we have access to, and again, with your expertise and the amazing awards that you've won and the boards you're sitting on, and just what your personal achievements are nothing short of just absolutely tremendous. There's so many questions coming in, but I want to be respectful of your time, also to our audience. So I think we'll go ahead and wrap it there. We very much look forward to seeing you live at upcoming events. So again, check your Jeunesse calendar for where you'll be able to see Dr. Giampapa. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments section. I'll make sure that Dr. Giampapa gets your questions. We'll make sure they get answered for you. I know we had talked about the CD and some information, so we'll find a way to get that available to our distributors, of course. And just in closing, is there anything that you would like to share before we go ahead and close the show?
Yeah, I'd like to make a closing statement, and that is, you know, Jeunesse has made a tremendous, their products and focus have made a tremendous impact on hundreds of thousands, if not millions of lives. And that's something I think we should all be proud of. But I will say the following, you know, put your seatbelts on, buckle down, because there's going to be amazing, amazing new things coming out in the very near future that will make Jeunesse even further in the forefront of anti-aging for all of us.
Yep, without a doubt. It's something to be thankful that we have right now and something to really look forward to. I completely agree with you. We're really just getting started. So thank you so much for sharing your expertise. I know the comments are just incredible. People are so excited to hear from you. Look forward to seeing you at a live event. And for those of you who are watching, thank you so much for tuning into the show today, and I look forward to seeing you on the next Jeunesse Live. I will skip a week. Next week, I will be live in Hong Kong. So if you'll be at Hong Kong University, come up, say hello, and I'll see you the following week. Again, Dr. Giampapa, thank you so much for your time. Look forward to seeing you at the next event. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.
Have a great day, everybody. Bye.